Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit and my intuition and the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, beautiful viewers. We will be taking a look at a pick a card reading. You will select from one of these cards in regards to the energy in which you're resonating with for your energy coming in the next 7 days. So we're looking at the next 7 days, the week ahead, and what is energetically coming towards you. So please keep in mind this is a general reading, so not everything is going to be 100% to your exact story. I will try to get the gist of the energy in which the message is wanting to be communicated for you. 3 options. If you're drawn to more than one, that is absolutely okay. Could just mean there's multiple messages here for you in regards to the energy and the aspect in which spirit is wanting to communicate to you. So at any point, if you're drawn to any one of these cards, the timestamp will be in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It will take you directly to your pick. Option 1, option 2, and option 3. We will reveal these 3 and then we will select a charm for each of these cards. All right, so option 1, we have 66 with hibernation. Your soul needs time alone for meditation and rest. 66 is a master number. Service as a source of joy in which one pours from an overflowing cup, not martyrdom. That comes through as 66. Option number 2, we have 41. That is number 5 with power struggle. You may be involved in a power struggle between 2 or more people. 5 is change, rebuilding. Could be conflict or loss. All right, option number 3, we have the judgment. With number 13, it says you're being asked to let go of all judgments and forgive those who judge you. 13 is the death card in the tarot. It's all about transition. Also reduces to number 4, which is all about stability and planning and structure. So let's pull one charm for each, or however many come out. So option 1, we have this flower sitting in a flower pot. I don't know if you guys can see that. I always forget that maybe I'm not holding it out long enough. So it says nature on it, on the pot. Okay. Option number 2, we have this. What is this thing? Oh, it's a mouse, and this mouse has an artist's palette on it. It's a mouse, a caricature mouse with an art palette. Okay, I'll put that there. And for option number 3, we have this heart with the tree. A heart with a tree for option 3. Okay, so let me move this out of your way. 1, 2, 3. I'll let you sit with this energy. And when you're ready, you can select it from the timestamp, and I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, my beautiful. Pile 1, you guys picked hibernation with card 66. As I mentioned, it is a master number. And we were getting service as a source of joy in which one pours from an overflowing cup and not martyrdom. So doing what it is that really speaks to our heart rather than something that keeps us in suffering, okay, out of a place of love. But we have hibernation, which is not doing anything at all. So interesting. Your soul needs time alone for meditation and rest. And then we have this flower growing out of a flower pot that says nature. So I feel like what's happening in the next 7 days here is we're going to pull more cards. But what I'm feeling here from this card is certainly something very natural. I don't feel as though you're having to do really anything more than just be. And I feel like the being here is much needed in order for you to reflect, in order for you to really sit with your heart energy and see what speaks to your heart. And because we have nature here, some of you guys could certainly find use in sitting in nature, but I'm feeling like this is more of a organic process in which you guys are having to reflect, having to remove yourself from any sort of situation or conflict or just energy that could be distracting you in any sort of way, in order for you to come to some sort of contemplation decision. So it is a removed energy, it's a reflective energy, but I feel like you're having to come to some sort of decision, and maybe you've been contemplating for quite some time and not able to make a decision. So I feel like this is a natural sort of process in which you're having to remove yourself, or the universe removes you from whatever's going on here in order for you to align yourself better with what it is that you're feeling in your heart space, okay? Not necessarily what you maybe egoically think you need to do, or what your mind is telling you you should do or should not do, but what your soul and your heart is sort of calling you towards. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here for pile 1. Let's pull some oracles, and we also have some tarot, but we're going to ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for beautiful pile 1 in regards to what's going to happen in the next 7 days energetically for pile 1. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I am truly blessed. Thank you so much. We have the home card reveal itself, and sticking to that, we have the test. Interesting. So we have home and test. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1. We have desire. All right. We have roots. 2 more, Spirit. We have abundance. Interesting. What we got from the master number was service is a source of joy in which one pours from an overflowing cup. Not martyrdom. Look at this cup is overflowing. Overflowing cup is all about emotions and self-love and what speaks to our heart. It's emotional new beginning from a heart space. And we have give. There's that nature energy that we were getting from the organic growth in the flower pot with give. Okay. And root even is very natural. Lots of plant sort of energy coming through here. Bottom of the deck, we have mind. Yeah, I think you're contemplating something. Okay, let me pull an oracle. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much. We have Pisces with bond 12, or the number 3. It says constellation. Okay. So, pile 1. I think you're amidst making a decision here, okay? And I think you're already in this energy, so I don't think this is anything that's new, but I think you've been in your head about something for quite some time. And you could have certainly not been in the right environment to make a right decision. So there might have been too much going on around you. You might have still been knee-deep in the situation or involved in the same sort of, with the same people, same situation in which you weren't able to think clearly about what the right thing is for yourself. Or you might have just not been able to sit in an energy where you could get clear about what you wanted to decide. So I feel there was lots of distraction, maybe self-induced, or maybe just something that kind of happens in life that doesn't allow us to reflect, that doesn't give us the space to think, that doesn't allow us to really get centered. So I feel in the next 7 days, there is a decision that's you're having to make here. I think you want to make a decision one way or another because you don't want to sit in the state of suffering or in the state of limbo or in the state of non-growth. Although I feel like maybe for some of you guys, you've been prolonging making this decision for one reason or another, because sometimes facing a truth or having to look and sit with something we don't want to pull the trigger on because it might require you to take action in a way that might be in a part of your life that maybe you weren't wanting to have to acknowledge or having to do. So I feel like there's a prolonging energy here of you kind of trying to either drag your feet or in some sort of head fog here that keeps you in some sort of repetitive loop thinking. But I do feel this was much needed in order for you to really sit with a reflection and part of the healing process here. I feel like there is something here that you desire, and I feel like there is something here that you're supposed to do in order to show the universe that you're wanting to engage, that you're wanting to receive. But in order to receive, I think you have to give. And I feel the giving here is making the step forward that I feel is probably going to be the biggest challenge for you, is the first step here. But I feel like what it's doing here is telling the universe that you're serious about what it is that you're wanting, because I think it does speak to your heart directly, and I think it has a lot of abundance for you in the future, and I think it allows you to expand and grow. So I think what I'm feeling here is there's a fear here of change in some way from your usual environment, from what brings you comfort, but I feel like you've outgrown this. I feel like you have been comfortable, but I feel like at the same time there's a loneliness and there's an understanding that you can't grow where you're at, that you need to be replanted sort of somewhere else, and the freedom to grow. And I think in the next 7 days, you're really reflecting on this sort of idea that you can grow someplace else and lay roots someplace else that is pretty solid, that could provide you with a lot of abundance here. I'm seeing bond here, so I do feel as though this could certainly involve another person or a group of people here, but I feel like with the desire and the Pisces, like this is a dream of yours, and maybe it seems very much like fantasy in some way for you, because I feel like you have been pretty practical, and I think you have been in the environment in which what you see is kind of what you get. So anything that sort of seems outside of the realm of practical reality here almost seems like just a dream or a hope or like a wish or a desire, but it is yours for the taking here. And Spirit is saying that there's a need for you to take some sort of action here. Okay. But I do feel in the next 7 days, it is you getting very certain that you want to take the action. And I feel like you already know what the action is, but I think what you're in contemplation of or having to really think about is whether you want, I think you want to take this action, okay? I don't think it's whether you want to take the action, but I feel like if you take the action forward, whatever this thing is, I feel like this comes with an acknowledgement that there has to be some sort of release of something else, or an acknowledgement that something else did not work or has not worked or is not the place in which you're now, whatever you called home is now going to be home, you know, because we might have wanted a certain foreverness with an energy that brought us comfort and safety and allowed us to grow at one point in time. And so to acknowledge that we've outgrown, or that it's no longer the place in which we're going to lay our roots, that we're going to be rerouted someplace else. There is, you know, there's a challenge in accepting this, you know, but I feel like the desire is very strong here, because the universe really wants you to expand. The universe really wants you to heal. The universe really wants you to lay roots someplace where you're going to be solid, where you're going to be able to enjoy a lot of abundance here. I think what you probably don't realize is how much abundance you will have in this situation, overflowing more than which you are experiencing. That once you sort of go through this, you're going to say, why did I not make this decision sooner? You know, but Spirit is saying not to get too stuck on that sort of thought, and allow yourself to understand that that was part of the healing process. That was part of the process in which you had to sort of get very centered, so that there was no sort of hesitation or what if in the back of your mind here, you know. Having to get 100% certain that this is the right decision for you. Heal, yeah. So here we have heal, and we have the 2 again. Look very familiar. Oh my goodness, I just said familiar. Interesting, very similar. With the eyes closed. With dark hair, eyes closed. We have the white sage burning here. With heal, yeah, I felt the healing coming through for sure when I said you're doing a lot of healing. So I feel like there's 2 selves here, is what I feel. Like, certainly I still feel another energy in which you're having to maybe work with. Okay, other energies are sort of in your old world and in your new world in some way. But I feel like these 2 energies are your energy, like in this energy that I'm feeling here. It's kind of like an old self, new self, or small self, higher self, shadow self, conscious self, okay? Which to me says that, which talks about this healing, but it's like coming into recognition where we were acting out of maybe an ego self, or out of a more matrix self, or a practical self, when there's a soul self, you know, your conscious self, which is the awareness, which is the part of you that is aligned to your higher self, that knows expansion for yourself is going to be the greatest calling, that's going to provide the most healing, that's going to allow you the most growth, that's going to align you with abundance and happiness, and not going to restrict your growth. Because I feel like your current environment is very restricting, okay? And I don't know why that's the case. It could just be the people in your environment, or whatever's going on there is restrictive. So I feel like the process has been one of having to acknowledge this, and that's been the biggest challenge, you know. But I feel like in the next 7 days you kind of make peace with understanding this, because I don't feel like you have to completely cut out or detach completely from a past environment. But I feel like just acknowledge that there's more for you outside of this, that you don't have to martyr yourself or commit yourself to this sort of confined, constricting sort of situation. Okay, so let's pull some tarot and see if we could get just a little bit more here. Spirits, clear and concise message for pile 1 the next 7 days. What are they needing to know in regards to this energy? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. What are they needing to know? Can we get a layer deeper in regards to the next 7 days? Thank you so much, Spirit. Right here, right now. What are they needing to know? What are they still questioning? What is keeping them sort of in this stuck mind energy? Okay, so the only card that's revealed itself was the Empress in reverse. So this is a block in a heart space. Okay, when the Empress is in reverse, this is also blocking abundance from coming in, because the Empress is the most abundant card in the tarot. Okay, this is unconditional love. This is speaking to our heart space, and this is divine feminine energy. Could speak of maybe something that's been developed, maybe as a challenge, maybe at a young age with a parental figure, maybe a mother figure, or maybe just detached from feminine energies. And the feminine energies is one of receptivity, because we have give, which is the opposite here. So I think we were blocked in being able to receive, and it could be very like literal, like receive love, you know, not allow ourselves to receive. I mean, receiving is an act of love, whether it be the act of love itself, but being able to receive, you know. So I feel like there's a need to balance the giving and receiving in your life. And I feel like you were blocked off from receiving. And so if you were in any situations that were imbalanced, you could have been getting, but not fully receiving. And were limited in how you could give. Because anywhere there's a block in the cycle, it impacts both how well we can give and how well we can fully receive. Okay, so this is the only card that is revealed itself here. So I feel like this is something that would be known to you. It is in the light. It's not in the shadow. It's the block in not being able to receive something that speaks to our heart space. So we have the devil. Yeah, so this is unhealthy ways of being. The devil is where we're bound, and this can speak of unhealthy ways of being, tied back, held back, restricted, believing that we're confined, you know, that we have a thought in our mind that keeps us stuck. But the devil is an illusion, and the devil is something that once we see past, that is only a thought, or it's only like an illusion of mind, then we're able to take action away from it and detach from the devil. A devil could be addictive behaviors, it could be habits, it could be ways of being that's unhealthy, obsessions, Capricorn energy coming through, and we have Taurus energy coming through. So heavy earth, we have the Two of Swords. Yeah, earth with all the plants as well we were feeling. So Two of Swords, yeah, I felt you were contemplating, making a decision. Two of Swords is sometimes where we're at an impasse, or we're of two minds. You know, it's like, I could do this, but then it can't coincide with that. And so we sit there idle, not wanting to accept some sort of path, because one would mean letting go of another, or would come to truth with another. And so we sit there sort of at a crossroads, indecisive, or sometimes this could even be the in denial card, you know, not wanting to make a decision. So we bury our head in the sand, hoping that things change or things would become different, which is devil energy, because universe is wanting you to act. Universe is wanting you to make a decision that's right for you, because I feel like you know what's right for you. We have the Six of Wands. This is the victory card. This is, you know, public victory, getting recognition. This is also an ego card. So it could be, how would we be perceived? You know, what would others think of me? And if it's not others, it's like our own sort of egoic story or narrative we tell ourselves of who we're supposed to be, what sort of life or story we're identifying with. And then when we have to detach from it, or when we acknowledge something here, it's kind of an interesting energy, because we've been so identified with that, you know, how we were perceived, how we were identified, how people saw us, or how we saw ourselves. And so this could certainly be why we're held back, or why we're having a tough time making a decision. We have the Tower, and it is in reverse. And we have the King of Swords in reverse. So I'm getting lots of mind energy from the King of Swords. This is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So the Tower in reverse. This is where we're keeping up a falsity, okay? The Tower is always when we're trying to build structure on shaky ground here, and so we tell ourselves untruths, or we keep up a story or a narrative that is no longer able to be sustained. And when this is in the reverse, it's like we're doing everything we kind of can to keep it up rather than allowing it to sort of fall away, you know, acknowledging the devil, acknowledging where we're held back, acknowledging what is untrue, in order for us then to be able to take charge and make a decision. Now, King of Swords in reverse, it could be that we're so much in our mind here that we're afraid to act, you know, because logically things might not make sense, or logically we're telling ourselves stories that we get frozen, and the story is the old narrative, and the story is the devil's story, and the story is the egoic story. The story is the one we tell ourselves that must upkeep something here. But it keeps us shut out, because the King of Swords is cold energy, you know, it's not warm, it's not receptive, it's not allowing love to come in. It's a very cold energy. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe again, tying back to childhood, maybe we feel like we deserve to be sort of some sort of martyr in the cold here, rather than receiving and giving love and opening the heart space. So knowing that you have the control here to understand when you have time alone to think, meditate, reflect, pull away, but that you also have the ability and the control here to put your mind away and speak to your heart directly, because you could get stuck in your mind forever, really, if you keep feeding the same story, if you keep feeding the same thoughts. That's the devil energy. You keep the binds, the shackles kind of alive here by continuously feeding yourself the same story, which is supporting a structure to stay sort of up, rather than to allow the falsities to fall away. So let's just pull one more layer here and ask for some guidance then. Spirit, guidance for pile number 1 in the next 7 days. What's the guidance? I do feel as though you guys sort of come to some decision here, you know, but I feel like it's taking that first step that feels very scary. It's kind of like jumping through this hoop of fire, but I feel like with the test here, it's like a test of the universe. Like, how much do you actually want to attain abundance in your life, you know? And this is the healing process that you're having to go through. Now we have the Emperor. So we have the Emperor and the Empress. That's divine counterparts, and we're seeing the 2 here, okay, which could be your masculine, your feminine. Like I said, I was feeling it was your energy sort of getting balanced. And the fact that both the Emperor and the Empress are in reverse, it could be that you are needing to balance both sides, you know, the receptivity, and then the part of you that takes charge with the Emperor. And that's interesting that the Emperor is revealing itself, and that the Empress revealed itself here. Masculine, feminine energy. Aries and Taurus energy. I'm going to pull one more. One more, spirits. What is the guidance here? Anything that's going to help? I feel this one right here. Okay. So, Emperor, Aries energy, and it is in reverse. So this to me could also be an ego card, and the Emperor in the shadow is all about us allowing our ego to take the wheel, you know, and ego is a whole bunch of aspects of ourself that we might not even realize. It's anytime we're driven by the subconscious, you know, we're not deserving of that, or we are incapable of this, or we tell ourselves certain narratives. This is all egoic sort of energy. So we might not be feeling empowered to take action. We might feel like we are maybe even in a stubborn energy, you know, fighting against something here, like we have some sort of control. Because the Tower in reverse, I feel like you're wanting to control some old narrative here where the universe is saying it's time for you to heal. It's time for you to allow whatever to fall away, not control and try to hold up some sort of story of the past. And the Devil in reverse here, okay? And I don't read bottom of the deck in reverse, generally. 10 of Cups. So this to me is saying there's a need to really shine the light on the illusion, to know that you're not really held back, that the story you tell yourself of where you're held back is your own belief that you are held back, that you have to be upkeeping some sort of falsity here. And when we feed the devil, when we feed that energy, we miss out on the abundance. We miss out on the growth. We don't allow for the new to come in. So I feel like there's potentially with the 10 of Cups here, sometimes this could be our own sort of pie in the sky story we tell ourselves, you know, that is not necessarily true. Like this is the happily ever after, but it could be an idolized sort of relationship or future story we tell ourselves about emotional happiness. And we could be feeding some sort of untrue story here about where we currently are, but it's very limited and restricting. Meanwhile, we can have abundance and a happily ever after if we allow the universe to allow us to grow, if we can plant roots someplace that's not confined, that's not, like we can't plant roots in our existing home structure here. We have Temperance in reverse. So this is another healing card, but it's also about being able to be in the right energy to work with the energy around us. So if we're imbalanced, again, that masculine, feminine energy I was getting in reverse, Emperor, Empress in reverse, it's like not being able to find the balance from within. So we can't show up here to work productively to create something that's going to be abundant because we're not in the right energy. And if we're sitting 2 of Swords and we're removed and we're not decisive and we're blocked in some way, we're now not able to allow things to flow, to show up in a very tempered sort of flowing way. Balance. Knight of Pentacles. Forward movement. Slow movement. Knight of Pentacles is all about slow and steady wins the race in a practical way. Taking the first step, like I said, might be slow here, but needing to do something in the practical world here that's going to kind of be the gesture of the forward movement will tell the universe that you've decided to take this first step. 9 of Swords in reverse. Yes, lots of anxiety. This is that mental mind prison. And understanding that we're the ones that could come out of this. That we could stay in our mind for years and years and years and suffer, or we can pull ourselves out of this and know that the mind is the devil illusion when we're in suffering. The story we tell ourselves is the suffering we tell ourselves. But I feel with this in the reverse, I feel like there's an illumination here. You identify you don't need to suffer because I feel like you connect to your heart space is what I feel. 6 of Wands now in reverse. Yeah, this is like allowing the ego to fall. Like knowing that the self, that ID self, like what you're identifying with self is not your true self. We have the King of Wands taking action. This is opposite energy of the Emperor in reverse. You know, because the King of Wands gets empowered. The King of Wands has the confidence to take action. This is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So there's an energy here of being empowered. But this King of Wands is sitting down, and I also see this dove, which is talking about peace here. So, and I also see this like strap of the mummy's head kind of holding him back. So I feel like in the next 7 days, there's a shift in energy of your confidence, of knowing what brings you peace, of knowing that you have it within you. But I don't feel like you take the full action step. I feel like you recognize where you're supposed to take action. I feel like you recognize what you're supposed to sort of break from the devil here. I feel you recognize where there is imbalance. I feel you recognize within yourself what you don't want to be because you're sort of receiving energy here that you don't want to feel. So I think you come into some very positive sort of empowered energy in order for you to then make a decision to act, like to actually do something. But I feel like in the 7 days, you come clear about something here. The Hierophant in reverse. Taurus energy again. So Hierophant is all about our way of life. It is about what we value. It's our ideology. It's sort of what we commit ourselves to here. And in reverse, it could mean that we're having to shift the way we see our day in, day out lifestyle of what we used to commit to. That wasn't bringing us a sense of balance, and it wasn't allowing us to heal. It wasn't allowing us to expand. It was confining us. So we might have believed at one point in time that this is what we had to be or who we had to be. Again, coming through very strong as that master number. Okay, 66. Again, service as a source of joy. So to be able to give service as a source of joy, it's coming from a heart space in which one pours from an overflowing cup. Okay, overflowing cup from a place of love and not from martyrdom. So not staying in some sort of mind space, mental prison, saying I have to keep giving to something here that is restricting, that isn't allowing me to get empowered, isn't allowing me to take charge of my life, isn't allowing me the growth, isn't speaking to my heart space. Okay, and breaking this devil. So, 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So, we could be very dependent, you know, very dependent on our existing set of circumstances, so much so that we've painted an idea that this is the be-all, end-all, but it's the devil, really, that's holding us back. And so I feel like there's a recognition of this mindset in the next 7 days, okay? So I do want to see, actually, this action step. And for all of you guys, it could be something different. But I feel like the action step might not happen in the next 7 days, but it is something that you come to some sort of conclusion, or you identify that that's what you should do. Let's take a look. What is this next step? What is the next step all about for pile 1? I feel like the next step is definitely, after acknowledging the restriction in the current structure, which is that Hierophant in reverse, identifying it, there's a need to walk away or detach from it mentally. We don't have to maybe physically, but physically I think there is an action step you're having to do here to tell the universe that you want the next step. It could be, you know, calling that employer. It could be engaging with a partner. It could be, I don't know. Let's see. What is this next step? What is this Knight of Pentacles next step all about? Ace of Wands. Yes, new beginning. Following your desire. Okay, the Ace of Wands is inspired, passion. It's following our desires and our passions, but it is that spark, that feeling very inspired to take a step, to take that action. So still not quite action yet. Here we have 2 of Cups and we have the Hangman, both in reverse. So 2 of Cups is partnership. This is a balanced give and take. Okay, this could be talking about the balance of self, but I feel like there is other people involved here, you know, or another person. 2 of Cups could be a relationship. We're having to give and receive and find balance. Okay, the Temperance in reverse was also about finding balance. So there was an imbalanced situation here in which we weren't able to receive fully to our heart space. And we were playing martyrdom to some other role. So there might have been an end of a relationship. There might have been a relationship that couldn't be balanced, that couldn't come together. So I feel there's inspiration here to see what you can do here to find balance, because I feel like with this Hangman in reverse, this is Pisces energy, it is us being so fixated on our point of view, us not seeing things from a different perspective, us sort of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, that's that martyrdom again, you know, us choosing to suffer here for whatever it is that we're seeing or telling ourselves. So because we asked specifically about that pentacle, I feel like the action step is taking yourself out of this block, is physically seeing something completely different and then acknowledging that idea that you see now what it is you need to do in order to bring balance, union, cohesion, allow the cups to flow between 2 people or a situation here that wasn't cohesive or balanced. but only you can sort of do this. And it takes that huge shift, okay? That huge shift in perception or perspective. And the Six of Wands is all about perception as well, how we're perceived and what we think others will see us. So lots coming through with perception, you know, and maybe we had to reflect here. But I feel like something is driving you, inspiring you to take action. And I don't know necessarily that, you know, that you've been able to act or you've been able to bring balance or justice to a situation here. And the twos are all about decisions again. So having to decide, having to choose which path, having to choose which partner, having to choose how you show up, having to choose how you see things. You know, you could choose to be stuck, or you could choose to see things from a complete different perspective, having a 180 on your point of view. And because I'm seeing Pinocchio here, we might have been, again, in some sort of lie to self, right? With Tower in reverse, keeping the lie alive. The Two of Swords, which I was saying could be in denial energy. So I feel like there's an in denial energy that's focused on some sort of untruth of reality that we're needing to come to terms with. So this is what I see here for the next 7 days, pile number 1. I hope this helped. I love you guys so, so much. If you're drawn to another pile, I will see you there. And don't forget, I am still running the free giveaway for a reading. All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe on any one of my videos. I will be selecting from the comments to give a free private reading for every month for the year of 2024. And also extending 35% off of every piece of jewelry and all readings on my website, prairievintagejewelry.com. I love you guys very much, and I will see you there. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 2. You guys picked 41 with the power struggle, or the number 5. And it says you may be involved in a power struggle between 2 or more people. And then we have this little mouse caricature with, it looks like a paint palette, like an artist would use. So, brave soul, power struggle. All right, well, we know a power struggle would generally involve ego, generally, and it could involve more than one person here in which we're trying to gain sort of control. We're going to look at your next 7 days, and I do ask that you use your intuition, what you will see, feel, or hear, to determine whether this message is resonating for you. Okay, we'll pull some oracles and some tarot, but what I'm feeling straight away here is it is a beautiful energy, though it is mixed with that sort of conflict, okay? Because, I mean, power struggle with the number 41, which reduces to 5. This is conflict. This could be change, but I feel like normally what comes with challenge and conflict with the 5s is always the breakthrough moment where we can then rebuild. So I feel like something's being rebuilt, okay? And then this artist mouse, it's like, you know, a mouse could be kind of skittish, a mouse could be kind of timid, and I feel like this mouse is now coming kind of forward here to recreate or rebuild something that maybe it wanted to rebuild, but it might have felt very timid or scared or incapable for whatever reason. Maybe the environment wasn't fostering or allowing this mouse to feel confident in itself to build something. So I feel like there could have been a power struggle with another, or a situation that just felt like it pulled the power away from you in some way, you know. So let's see. I do feel like this would be something that you'd know about right now. I don't feel like, you know, you're going to come into a power struggle in the next 7 days. I feel like you're in amidst maybe something taking away your power, or feeling powerless, you know, but you're wanting to rebuild something. So you're wanting to sort of have an active role in rebuilding something to the way you want it to be, because you're the artist here. Okay, like you want to engage. I feel like you want to change something also about how you show up, or your confidence, or your ability to, engage in a situation that you might have not have been able to engage up until now due to whatever, lack of confidence, or just the situation was overwhelming, or just not fostering support. So let's ask Spirit, clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2, spirits. Can we look at the next 7 days, the week ahead for pile 2? What is the energy coming in right here, right now for the beautiful pile number 2, spirits? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message. And thank you so much, pile number 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed. Thank you so, so much. So we have trigger. Let's keep going. We have trigger. We have birth. Yes, the artist energy. Okay, and the trigger is that power struggle. Birth. And we have surrender. And we have intuition. And we have sovereignty. Wow. One more, spirit. One more. And we have seek. Okay. Bottom of the deck energy. We have tears. And under that, we have unknown. Okay, I'm going to flip that around. Tears, unknown, and simplify. Okay. Tears, unknown. So, pile 2, I do feel as though you're in a situation here of challenge, okay? And I don't feel like it's happening in the next 7 days. I feel like you're already in it. So if this isn't your pile, then it's not your pile, and you might want to go somewhere else. But I feel like something's been challenging, and I do feel it involves another person. Could be multiple people, but I do feel it for sure at least another person here. And I do feel like there's been tears, okay? And I feel like the tears are sadness here, and it's been caused by a trigger. You know, a situation here that's triggered you to not feel good. You know, you might have felt very intimidated, and you might have ran away in some way, or just not sure how to engage. You know, like the mouse here gets very spooked, but I feel like your heart's in a good place of wanting to create something. And so I feel like in the next 7 days, intuitively, there's a knowing. Okay, I feel like there's a knowing here that you're wanting to create something different than what you've created here, which seems to be sadness and suffering, you know. And instead of looking at what's triggered and what didn't work, or what sort of might have frightened you, or what was the negative in a situation, it's saying, okay, what can I work with here in order to become reborn in a way, or show up in an energy here of the creator, of the artist, to be able to energetically do something that's going to allow me to make something out of this, that, you know, I'm wanting to free myself from the pain and the suffering and the triggering, but also identify myself here in a unique way that speaks authentically and true to what I'm feeling I'm needing to do here. You know, so this will require you to surrender. And, you know, sometimes when we surrender, it is very liberating, because we're no longer attached to the suffering or the story or the whatever, the narrative or the pain or the situation attachment that we might have formed. We're surrendering to the universe and saying, whatever I've experienced here has been, you know, I'm feeling tower. So I feel like something happened kind of shocking. You know, something might have happened suddenly. Something might have happened where it really impacted you. It might have made you very angry, or just feeling in a certain way very suddenly. Okay, but I feel like your surrender here is to allow those feelings to kind of happen, but for you to not control, or for you to resist, or for you to fight something here, and to go explore where this is taking you, where your emotions are taking you. Because I feel intuitively here, you know that your only way to create something, to be birthed in a way that's going to be creating something of value for you, is to explore, is to be open, is not to run away and hide, or to be timid and scared, is to step forward and become in an energy that is receptive, because we're no longer, I don't know, I feel like we're no longer resisting, or we're no longer fighting against, or we're no longer sitting in sadness. We're now saying, I want to go and navigate through my emotions, navigate through this experience, and see what it is that I see here, but be very present. you know, like being present throughout the storm, being present throughout these emotions, being present throughout where this is taking me. And I feel like this gives you more control, because I feel like up until now you might have felt like you didn't have any control at all. And so I feel like by surrendering and not needing to control something in some way, and knowing that what I can control, I will be able to, but the universe is pretty much going to dictate where I'm going. I just need to kind of navigate, you know, like the chariot, keep it kind of in balance, that the storm too shall pass. But I can't sort of hide away here. Yeah, so I don't feel whatever this is sort of over, you know, but I feel like you're navigating to the unknown. But had you stayed where you were at, I don't think you would ever even get to explore the unknown. I think you would have just, you know, been stagnant in some way, or your intuition was pulling you towards knowing that there was something more here to explore, that you were needing to take a step towards this unknown, despite maybe your need for certainty or control, or feeling like you didn't want to feel timid, or you didn't want to feel like you weren't, yeah, like the power struggle again, like you didn't have the control, like the situation had control, or this other person was navigating you, or that the situation or circumstance was pulling you in a way that you couldn't really have a say, or that you couldn't really do anything here, made you feel very uncomfortable. But sometimes we're put in storms and situations where we have to surrender to the universe, where we have to allow ourselves to keep moving forward and only be able to navigate the ship, but allow the universe to pull us through, even if it is unknown. Because I feel like there was a lot of sadness staying where you were at. And there might have been a lot of sadness in the actual experience of the storm itself as well. You know, like for sure there was triggering here, and it could have been someone did something here that triggered you, or that said something hurtful. I'm going to pull one of these, and then we're going to pull some tarot cards as well to see what has Spirit been wanting to communicate in the next 7 days here. So I certainly do feel you come out of the energy that you were sitting in here that was like, I can't impact this situation at all, or I'm not able to bring any sort of justice or difference or create something different than what I've experienced. I think you change that mindset. 43, bright star, or the number 7. 7's all about faith and wisdom, reflection and understanding. It is also the chariot in the tarot, and it is also the tower reduced in the tarot. And like I was mentioning, the chariot, having to find balance. Okay, and the tower I was feeling with the lightning, which is a sudden thing that's happened here. So we have Vega with falling eagle and dynamism. Well, eagle is all about our ascended vision. Like we could see things from a greater view. It's also about divinity. But it is about vision. So it's like seeing something from a greater perspective here. Dynamism. So we're seeing in the next 7 days where we can surrender, how we can explore, where we could still keep our sort of independence and our freedom from whatever we felt as a power struggle, or a threat to our freedom, or a threat to our life in some way. I feel here, okay, like I don't know, something happened here where it threatened you. But I think once you sit with that sort of energy and realize that you are sort of the only person here who has control over yourself in some way, like the universe can certainly, this one's wanting to reveal itself, so the universe can certainly bring storms, and you're still needing to navigate through them rather than just shut down and hide from them, or, you know, not engage in them and hope that, cross your fingers that they go away. Sometimes the storm persists until we step into it, so that we learn our lessons, so we can move forward. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 more, Spirit. Clear and concise message right here, right now for pile 2. What are they needing to know in the next 7 days energetically here? Can we get a deeper layer? What did I miss? What are they needing to know in regards to this next 7 days? Some clarity. 2 more spirits. Thank you so much for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. 1 more. Okay. So the Magician kind of popped out there when I was shuffling, and the Magician's all about manifesting and being kind of the master of our own ship. Okay, this is like as above, so below. So we're able to manifest something from the ethereal space of our mind's eye into the right here, right now, in front of us. Okay, so I feel like there is something you're wanting to create with the artist's palette. But in order to create something, you have to get involved. You have to engage. You have to face things here. Okay, Magician's all about manifesting what we want for self, taking the control and having all the tools in order to do this. I see the infinity symbol. Okay, infinity. There's no beginning and no end. And I feel like what I'm really feeling strongly here is that there is this pull to you of something intuitively here that I feel really speaks to your soul in some way here, that is just pulling you towards having to create something in this world that reflects what it is that you intuitively know. That might have always been sort of your calling, might have always been your thing, might have always kind of been there, you know, and maybe we at some points shied away or weren't sure how to engage. But I do feel like it's something that's a forever thing here. And now we're seeing it from a different sort of perspective. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. And we have the Temperance. Okay, this is Sagittarius energy. And in reverse, this is an imbalance. That's an imbalance, a need to get balance. Again, to keep the Chariot sort of upright, we're needing to know what the right ingredients are in order to show up in a way that could produce something, that could create something. And we have the Seven of Pentacles, investments. You know, how much energy do we invest? How much do we dedicate ourselves to something here? But we have to put in the effort and the energy and the dedication in order to reap the reward of something here. And sometimes we feel like throwing in the towel for whatever reason. We haven't reaped the reward. We don't see the reward. Or it's very imbalanced because we're incapable of showing up in a way here, of putting in the effort required. I do feel an imbalance here. So King of Cups. This is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. This king loves the deepest, emotionally mature. Sometimes the King of Cups is not very active. He feels, but he doesn't really take charge or take action. So maybe you were sitting in your feels, you know, with the tears here, understanding how you felt, but I feel like there was maybe an energy here of hanging back too much. Hanging back too much. Queen of Cups in reverse. Look at that. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So we have the King and the Queen of Cups. Divine counterparts here. Queen of Cups is in reverse. And the King of Cups is in the upright. So when the Queen of Cups is in reverse, it could be a block in the heart space or someone removed from showing love. You know, the Queen of Cups always expresses how she feels. She is the Queen of Emotions. She is loving, caring, giving, compassionate, creative. And the King of Cups is very deep loving as well, although he doesn't always express it so much. So I feel like, I don't know, there might be someone here. We're going to pull some more cards here in your energy field here, where maybe you were very in one energy, or you were, because we have the power struggle here, okay? And you could certainly be resonating as divine masculine energy. Doesn't necessarily have to be that you were born male, but what I'm getting is divine masculine energy is, you know, one here that might have been imbalanced in some way here, that was investing maybe in a certain energy that felt a little more fixed, that felt a little more stagnant, if you will. It felt a little disconnected or removed from taking action, which was bringing imbalance here, okay? And maybe we weren't sure how to invest. Maybe we were timid. Maybe we weren't, I don't know, we were thinking we weren't able to engage in some way or create or manifest something in some way. So this could have resulted in a Queen of Cups removing energy, like with tears. This is what I'm feeling from both of these, is like sadness, you know, like a block of love here. Or let's pull some more and see why we're seeing this. Spirits, in the next 7 days for pile number 2, can we get some clarity around this dynamic? Why are we seeing this King and Queen of Cups and this imbalance? What is pile number 2 needing to know right here, right now, in regards to the next 7 days energetically? Can we get some clarity for pile 2? Anything that they're still questioning? We have the Empress. This is unconditional love, divine feminine energy, receptive energy. This is this birth energy, okay? This is birthing abundance. This is allowing unconditional love to be birthed. This is creating something here. So we have the Empress, Taurus energy. And with the roses here, I do feel for a lot of you guys, this could be in regards to like a romantic connection, okay? With the rose, with the 2. And we have birth and the Empress. Certainly could be, you know, birthing something, like birthing a relationship, birthing a project with someone. It could be literal birth of someone. So we have the 5 of Wands. This is, could be competition, but I feel this is conflict. This is the power struggle. Okay, this is the power struggle. This is the conflict. This is not agreeing. So we might have had a conflict with, you know, our husband or wife or partner or divine counterpart. 10 of Swords. This is an ending, although it is in reverse. So I feel like something might have ended that we're needing to find closure, or need to put an end to the conflict, need to put an end to something here that's still kind of turning about, right? So when we surrender, we allow things to shift, and we might have to surrender to something here in order for there to be closure, in order for the power struggle to die out, in order for us to birth something new. We have 4 of Pentacles. So someone's hanging on to something here, and they could be hanging on to their point of view. They could be very fixed, and I was feeling that from your energy with the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Like I felt like it was kind of a stagnant energy, okay? 4 of Pentacles is pretty solid, but it is where we're holding back too much, or we're not allowing ourselves to let go, okay? It's one or the other. It is a very fixed energy, and it could be our perceived stability here, but it's coming from a lack mindset, thinking we're right, you know. But I feel like in the next 7 days, there's a point of view shift here, seeing it from a higher perspective, that maybe being so fixed and being held back, or holding ourselves back in some way, was keeping us from birthing something, keeping us away from unconditional love, was creating a lot of conflict. You know, and it wasn't allowing us to process some sort of ending here, the end of the power struggle, or the end of some sort of mindset that was keeping us very fixed and stuck in some way. So 5 of Pentacles, yeah, keeping us out in the cold. And when we see 5 of Pentacles, we have the key to pull us out of the cold. We can decide to take action and steps out of the cold in order to move towards what will bring us happiness, you know, by surrendering. And so I feel like something does need to end, and I feel it's a mindset, and I feel like it's a conflict, and I do feel like it's with your other half, or with someone here you'd consider your other half, with the Queen and King of Cups, okay? And I feel like seeing the Queen of Pentacles energy, it is that of you definitely being capable of, you know, standing on your own with the sovereignty, like being independent, standing on your own. But I feel like what Spirit is showing is, do you then allow yourself to align with what your heart is calling you to do? Or are you feeling sadness here? Because the Empress is all about birthing unconditional love and abundance and speaking to your heart space, you know, to create something beautiful in this world. Or do we stay in conflict saying, I'm able to stand on my own and be very fixed about my position here and stay out in the cold? But I feel like your intuition tells you, you know better, that you can go seeking happiness, that you can go birthing something in a new energy. And I feel this is what you do. Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, so this is how we express love. This is how we show up. This is how we are able to give love to another. We offer them a cup of love. And so I feel like this is blocked because I feel like we're needing to put an end to a mindset. We're needing to surrender. We're needing to, yeah, like come to terms with whatever ending we're needing to come to terms with in order for us to then be able to make the right decision in how we express ourselves. You know, the King of Cups, like I said, could love very deeply, but no one would ever know because he never really expresses or shows his love. And that's this block here, okay? Like having to step forward, having to show up, having to be the knight in shining armor and express how we feel. And I feel like something is blocked here because we haven't been able to surrender, so we stay in conflict. So I feel like you're recognizing this. You see something here. You're seeing how you're held back. You're seeing that you don't want to be out in the cold. You're seeing how you don't want to stay in arguments here. This is conflict. I think you see what you want to birth. I feel there's an unconditional love here, and I feel there's also sadness here, you know. But now we're having to explore the unknown, and we might feel, like I said, like this mouse, you know, like it could be very timid. It could be, you know, exploring new territory here to express oneself here with the Knight of Cups, one's emotions. But this is how he creates this sort of beautiful art piece here, and the next sort of phase in this journey of this unknown journey. Simplify. Yeah, it's like there's too many things that we're hanging on to and stories, and to me it feels like it's coming a little bit from our mindset or our ego, in which we're telling ourselves we cannot do certain things, or where we're too afraid, or we're telling ourselves we must hang on to, or we must do something. But I feel like the more we do this, the more we stay out in the cold, and we stay in conflict, and there's no need to. Okay, so I'm going to get final words here then from Spirit as advice here. Then what are you being kind of guided to do? Guidance, spirits. Yeah, because I feel there was a big trigger here, and so if we're triggered, sometimes it's hard for us to put an end to the conflict that we experience here until our mind is able to sort of shut that door. And we can't really birth anything new if our mindset is still stuck on some triggering of the past. Okay, but I feel like intuitively you're wanting to move forward. So spirits, what exactly is the guidance here for pile number 2? What are they being guided to do here? Clear and concise message for pile number 2, Spirit. Thank you so much for this message. I do feel like shuffling this way. Guidance for pile 2. What is still unknown for pile 2 that they're needing to know right here, right now, in regards to the next 7 days? Spirits, thank you so much. All right, so the Hermit in reverse. This is inner reflection. When we do the inner reflection, we're able to surrender, but we have to go within. We have to ask ourselves true questions about what speaks to us. We have to tap into our intuition, okay? The Hermit's journey sometimes is very lonely, but it's one of seeking truth. And so we need to do this work. We have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Emperor in reverse. I don't know if I flipped them, but I am feeling them this way. So what is this? Major Arcana, Major Arcana, Major Arcana. Universe is getting involved, okay? Something is fated. Something is moving forward. Something has to move forward here with the wheel, okay? So I feel like if we were suffering, if we were sad, if we were out in 5 in the Pentacles, it's only a matter of time before things start to move again. And I feel like if things start to move, which they will, we need to be very centered, and we need to know what we want, because the wheel will start turning. And if we're not centered and know what we want, we could just get pulled into the storm here, okay? So I feel like this is all about divine timing. This is all about fated sort of energies, what we're destined to do here. This is all about luck kind of being on our side, and the universe sort of taking the wheel, so to speak, and us having just to navigate. And I feel like with this Emperor in reverse, it's saying to check yourself, like check your ego, to check where you think you have control, because the universe is actually in control of the wheel here. You're not needing to control things. You're not needing to stick to some sort of outcome and make it happen. The universe wants you just to show up here, to be able to create with your energy. We were seeing the magician, which is being able to manifest and create, but not going against, not resisting, by surrendering to the universe, surrendering to the movement of the universe. Okay, and allowing yourself to sit in that energy and still allow yourself to feel like confident in engaging in what you're creating. Because I feel like the mouse to me is always signifying like someone who might not be so confident in their ability to bring in happiness, or to show up when they need to show up, or do what they need to do when they need to do it, because they could freeze or run, or I don't know, get intimidated for whatever reason. Okay, and the Emperor doesn't get intimidated. The Emperor knows when to show up, knows when he's in control, and knows when the universe is sort of taking the wheel and he doesn't have control, but he has to still show up. So I feel like the universe wants you to do the work here, okay? Wants you to be an emperor, but not have to fully stick to some sort of plan in organizing an outcome. Allow yourself to surrender where you need to, where the universe takes the wheel, but acknowledging what within you is true to your authentic desires, true to your intuition, true to what it is that speaks to you, and that you can reflect it on the outside. Because the wheel is talking all about the universe is going to pull you towards that. You just don't need to resist. Okay? And so it could be uncomfortable for you, or it could be comfortable, but it's all about how you sort of engage. You know, if we're still sitting and triggering, if we're still not surrendering, if we're still sort of running away, then it makes it very difficult when we're sort of moving towards what's supposed to be happening in our life here. So we're needing to see things from a more elevated sort of point of view here. We're needing to really tap into our intuition. We're really needing to see things here that we're not in a power struggle, that we are just needing to navigate through this experience, because you're amidst birthing something beautiful here with the universe and the Empress and this birth. Okay, so if there is someone involved here with you, because we saw Empress and Emperor, it's like not trying to take the control or the power, but working with this person, working with the universe, because the universe has the control, not this other person, not you. And so if both of you guys are resisting or challenging, then I feel like the power struggle continues with that Five of Wands. So we need to just embrace that the wheel of fortune is the turning of the universe, and that we just need to sort of keep upright. Okay, so walk into your confidence here by sitting in your intuition, sitting in reflecting, seeing things from a greater perspective here, understanding maybe why you were triggered, but then surrendering to what you can, releasing any sort of sadness or Five of Pentacles energy, because you don't want to keep sitting out in the cold. You don't want to keep sitting out in the Five of Pentacles, okay? You don't have to, and I think you know this. So in the next 7 days, you know this. I think you see things from a different perspective, and then you can engage differently here, okay? And I think that's going to shift things for you in a very positive way, because the Wheel of Fortune is the Jupiter energy, which is very much about luck. So Page of Cups. This is my apology card here, okay, with the tears here. So it's in reverse, meaning we're blocked here. We're not either apologizing if we feel we need to apologize, or we're not allowing our heart space to open up. We're being mousy about it. Okay, we're shying away from maybe what we need to do. And this is also, like I said, the artist's palette is creativity. The Page of Cups is opening our creativity. You know, in order to open up our creativity, we have to be receptive to the universe. We have to work with the universe. We have to be exploring whatever the universe sort of wants us to explore. We can't run away. So I feel like, I don't know, like, I do feel like maybe you owe an apology to someone is kind of what I feel, okay? And only you know this, but you might have to at least take accountability and responsibility, because Mouse does not take accountability. for your part of this power struggle. And maybe someone owes you an apology as well. Okay? But I feel like you can control your own part. So if you need to apologize, apologize. The wheel is going to be the universe taking control. You just have to work on your confidence, work on what it is that you want, work on what it is that you're sort of doing from within here in order to get out of sadness, in order to get out of the Five of Pentacles, so you can create something beautiful, which I feel you are. You're creating something beautiful, okay? Pile number 2, this is what I have for your reading in the next 7 days. I hope this resonated for you. I love you guys very much. Don't forget about my free giveaway reading. All you got to do is be subscribed to my channel, leave a like and comment, and I will be selecting from random video from the comments section for a free reading. And that could be you if you leave a comment. And also I will be doing a 35% discount off my website, off all jewelry, and off all private readings. You just have to enter the code sunshine35, and that will be for the full month of March. Again, I will leave all the information in the description box and in the pinned comment below, and it will take you guys to whatever information you're needing. All right, I love you very much. I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my most beautiful. Pile number 3, you guys picked the Judgment with card number 13, and it says you are being asked to let go of all judgments and forgive those who judge you. And then we have a heart with a tree. Trees could represent health. Trees also could represent our family tree, our ancestors. We see a little heart inside the heart. So heart obviously is all about love and our expression of love and our authenticity, what speaks to our heart. So trees could be foundation, like the solidness, maybe something that speaks to our heart, something that is solid or healthy. You know, heart health is about listening to our authenticity. And then, of course, with Judgment here, it's the second last card here in the tarot, which is all about having to really review everything. You know, it could be the Karma card where we're sitting in judgment, reflecting everything that's happened, everything that we've done, everything that's gone on, and having to make a decision whether we want to repeat certain cycles or whether we want to open the door to a new sort of phase. 13 is all about the transformation, leaving behind the old, you know, things we've already experienced. We don't need to experience anymore with the 13. That's the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. But here specifically says you are being asked to let go of all judgments and forgive those who judge you. So we might be needing to forgive someone. Maybe we need to forgive ourselves. But is asking you to forgive those who judge you. So you might be experiencing judgment from others, maybe family members here with the tree. So I'm going to pull the oracle cards here to see what's happening here in the next 7 days, the week ahead for you. Okay. And I do ask that you use your own intuition, what you will see, feel, or hear to determine whether this message is for you. All right. So Spirit, clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3, spirits. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. We'll pull some oracles and then we'll pull some tarot as well to get a deeper sort of understanding of what this is. Now, keep in mind in the next 7 days, give or take, because I don't know where you sit on the timeline. Okay, so it could be a little past the 7 days. So we have birth. This came out for pile 2. We have expand. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. We have the breathe card. It's a pair of lungs. And we have soul. Oh my goodness, you guys. Expand, birth, breathe, and soul. This looks like it's all about self. We have mind. Yes. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What are we going to get? Body. I mean, we already have birth and breathe, which is kind of body. Spirit, what is happening in the next 7 days, right here, right now, energetically? Well, we have rage. Oh my goodness. Okay. Bottom of the deck energy, we have union, and under the union card, we have test. Okie dokie. Let's pull one of these oracle cards. 3 white cards, light cards, and then 3 dark cards, or black cards. So we have the white and black, kind of yin yang, balanced. Masculine, feminine energy coming through. We've got 2 cards showing up. We have number 16 or the number 7 with constellation. Ursa Minor with consequences. Number 7 is all about faith and wisdom, reflection, understanding. It is the Chariot in the tarot. It's also the Tower reduced. We have number 40 with Nebula, blue snowball, and patience. So 40 reduces to 4, which is all about structure, foundation, stability, planning. It could be the Emperor or the Death card in the tarot reduced. So Death card coming through again, which is Scorpio energy. So patience, consequences. Okay. So what's happening? I feel a heavy energy of self here, okay? And when I say self, it's like you're really going in deep here, okay? Like I feel like you're really going in deep. And I feel like whatever has transpired up until now has been something that I feel has maybe turned you inwards and really made you contemplate, I think, what it is that you want to move forward with. So I think you've already done the reflecting. I think you've already sort of understood things for what they are and accepted things kind of for what they are. But I think you were really needing to tap into a certain part within yourself here. Okay, like within your soul, whatever spoke to your soul, your heart. And I feel like what you're wanting is something that is healthy and solid, that's going to grow, you know, and I feel like in the next 7 days, it's something that you're wanting to finally sort of conclude with yourself and come into some sort of agreement within yourself that this is something you want to birth, something you actually want to make happen. Because I feel like up until now, maybe this is something you felt, but you weren't quite sure. So you might have needed to really sit with everything. You might have just understood that you wanted some sort of expansion, but you weren't quite sure how to expand. And when I say expansion, it's like grow, be the best version of yourself. Like what would allow you to have growth? You know, what would bring stability? What would speak to your heart? You know, what would speak to your soul? So I feel like you've had to reflect. I feel like you had to sit there. And I feel like in the next 7 days, there is still some reflecting and some sort of back and forth and really concluding within your mind. So I feel like in order for you to make a decision here, there is some consequences here that you might have to accept in some way, okay? Like consequences is if we decide to do one thing, we're going to have to endure the consequences. Now, whether that be positive consequences or negative consequences. But I feel like sometimes in order to do something that speaks to us, we might have to suffer some sort of negative consequences that come with making this decision, okay? But I feel like Spirit is saying with this patience here is that I feel like you've been fairly patient already, and I feel like Spirit is asking you to continue down the same energy of patience, because I feel like whatever decisions you're making here are coming together, are going to be birthed, but you're needing to keep faith, keep sticking to your truth, okay? Whatever is calling to your soul, your heart here, keep sticking true to that. And that if there are consequences that sort of are happening as a result of this, if you remain patient, eventually you'll see why things had to kind of unfold the way that they had to unfold. You know, it might seem like a negative sort of consequence. Well, then in hindsight, be like, okay, I see why this is kind of had to happen this way, you know? And so I feel like it brings you peace of mind. I feel like it allows you to continue to go down the path without sort of freaking out about the decisions that you've made here. But now we have rage here, and I feel like this is kind of happening a little later in the week, and this rage and this volcano that's erupting here. So I feel like something is definitely going to be testing your sort of patience here. Look, test, okay? So I feel like there is a test of patience. And I feel like something's wanting to come together with this union. So coming together with two people, coming together to cohesively sort of find balance and union within some situation. Okay, but I feel like at the end of 7 days, there's something here that's going to happen. And it is going to test you. And Spirit saying to remain patient, breathe throughout this experience. Do not let yourself fall backwards. Do not let yourself undo all of the things that you've kind of come up to this point, to remember all the growth that you've had up until this point, to remember the decision you made here in what it was you wanted to create, to release any sort of judgments you might have in the moment here, okay, in a situation that might suddenly happen. And instead of giving into rage or giving into whatever emotion you're feeling or throwing in the towel or giving up, to not do this, because I feel like this test, this lesson is one that is moving you in the path that you're wanting to go in. So why does the universe test us in this way? Now, I feel like karma obviously is a real thing. Energy obviously has to find a way to even out. Okay, that's physics. Energy always finds a way to even out. So I feel like we're having to even out energies, go through certain karmic lessons, go through certain experiences in order for the universe to know exactly what it is that we're wanting, exactly where it is that we're going, in order to bring cohesion, in order to balance out energies for us so that we can manifest and birth what it is that we're wanting. But we have to sort of not recreate new sort of karmas, not recreate sort of stories where we're having to relearn. Like I said, the judgment is at the point where we can repeat certain cycles, or we can accept certain truths and close the door to old ways of being and enter in a new phase differently, because we've already learned, you know, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. We're no longer needing to experience the same thing. We're now very much aware of our triggers. We're very much aware of, you know, where things are sort of, I don't know, like trying to test us in some sort of way here. Okay, so I was going to pull these for some reason, but I want to pull the tarot. Let's just see what's at the bottom here. Joy. Yes. Okay, joy and child. So this gives me sun energy, and the sun is all about our inner child. And now we have child here. So inner child coming through very strong. And I was feeling self, like all of this, like birth, child, like, I don't know if this is a literal birth of a child, or I feel like you're being reborn in some sort of energy here. Okay, and this happens after judgment because we could be reborn. We could be in the same situation, circumstance, same group of people, same whatever, but be completely reborn and have a complete different outcome. That's why, you know, two different people could be in a situation and have two complete different outcomes because they engage differently. So I feel like you're being kind of put into a situation here that you could repeat, you know, or you could find balance. You could find it within yourself to find the joy, but we're having to deal with some inner child experiences here that might have, you know, caused you to react in certain ways in the past, might have kept you in judgment of self. You know, maybe it didn't allow you to expand. Maybe it didn't allow you to find stability. And because we're seeing the tree, like I said, ancestor, that could be how we were brought up. That could be, you know, our past lives of things that we've brought into this sort of, our sort of experience in this lifetime that we're not needing to carry anymore, you know. So we get stuck in our mind, we get stuck in our ego. And so we're really needing to find the balance in ourselves to say, how can I expand? How have I learned from situations? How could I be reborn? How could I come into union with the right partners, the right people, the right experiences here? How can I remain patient when I feel like the old triggers are coming up? My old reactions are coming up, you know, because I will suffer the consequences of my actions. If I rage out on someone here, because that's how I normally act, because I haven't dealt with my childhood rage, will I ever experience the joy? Will I ever find the stability that speaks to my heart space? You know, or can I acknowledge when I'm in shadow? Can I acknowledge when the rage comes up? Can I breathe through it? Can I remain patient? Can I still birth this new self of like my new self in order to engage differently so I could stay balanced, so I could find this joy, you know, because I feel like you want this joy. Something's bringing you joy, you know, and this child energy is being very innocent, is being very much loving and open and allowing the universe to sort of bring abundance towards you, not being in your mind about it. Okay, so let's see. We're going to get some more because I know this is a little bit cryptic. We're going to ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for beautiful pile 3. What's happening in the next 7 days? Right here, right now. Next 7 days for beautiful pile 3. What sort of questions do they still have in regards to this? Next 7 days. So yeah, I feel like something is going to be sort of testing you. Testing your reaction is what it is, okay? And you're having to just sort of breathe through it to remain calm. So we have Page of Cups. This is the apology card. Okay, this is also child energy. Pages are children energy. Okay, but this is like youthful energy, learning how to love, opening the heart space, being creative. This is apologizing. So if we're needing to apologize, okay, if we burst out, if we're needing to be patient, we apologize here because we might not like the consequences of our old actions here. Magician, manifesting what we want for ourselves. Okay, this is having all the tools in order to manifest what we want. And you do have all the tools here. And so we might get stuck in old energy thinking we're not capable of manifesting for ourselves happiness or abundance or joy. And Spirit is saying you can, but if you recreate sort of old energies here, you might suffer same consequences you have in the past. So take note of this. Be sort of like this beginner energy. Here's this Page of Cups. Two of Pentacles in reverse. So the Two of Pentacles, this is about making a decision, but this could be going back and forth, needing to sort of prioritize, needing to choose, feeling sort of imbalanced in some way. Now, because it's in reverse, it's like, I feel like you have an opportunity here to not go back to inconsistent energies, to not be in two minds. I feel like you, in the next 7 days, you absolutely are able to walk in a new sort of energy that I feel is fairly new to you, that you might have not have been able to in the past, that allows you to explore sort of as a youthful energy, because I don't feel like you're familiar with this energy. So you could all of a sudden, you know, fall back in old ways if you're not present, if you're not very consciously aware. But I don't feel you do. I feel like you're wanting to manifest happiness. I feel like you're very much wanting expansion. I feel like you're very much in an energy here of patience. Seven of Swords. So this is the deceptive energy. This is where we're maybe lying to self, or where things are unclear, or where we're keeping things kind of under the radar. We're not being honest with ourselves. And so I feel like what Spirit is showing here is like, we could fall back in telling ourselves the old narrative. You know, we can fall back in lying to ourselves about, oh, this will never sort of happen for me, or I'm not able to manifest, or I'm still sort of this sort of page energy. So who am I to sort of bring in abundance for myself? And this is kind of a self-speak that we might be, you know, used to in the past, but that's all coming from a place of judgment. And so when something triggers us, we could fall back in this, or we could recognize this, and we could really forgive ourselves here with this apology card. Forgive ourselves for self-speak, forgive ourselves for self-sabotage, forgive ourselves for not allowing ourselves to maybe manifest what we wanted here, you know, because we were incapable of prioritizing or making a decision. Here we have the Sun and the Moon, masculine, feminine energy, finding that balance within self, you know, knowing when it is we can take action, and knowing when it is we have to be receptive, right? Finding the balance here, rather than maybe making judgments, passing judgments on self or others. Here we have Justice. Yes, balance. So bringing justice to ourselves, justice to a situation, having to be balanced, doing the right thing for everyone. Okay, justice brings balance and justice for everyone in the situation. We're not too much in one sort of energy. So this is Libra energy, and then we have Virgo and Gemini, and we have the star in reverse. So Aquarius energy, this is healing. The star talks about our wishes coming true, and it's like our plans for the future. It's like a distant hope or desire or long-term vision. And with this in reverse, it's like we could lose hope. You know, we could say, well, this is not for me. I'm not experienced enough, or I'm incapable of manifesting, or I have not yet been able to do this. You know, and we could just live out some sort of self-sabotage or some sort of lie to self. But Spirit is saying, identify here where your self-speak is coming from your mind, where you might be giving up hope because of your past experience, where you start to judge yourself, and find the balance within yourself to stay hopeful, to keep the patience within yourself, to trust yourself to be able to navigate towards your wish and your healing and your joy, okay? Because I feel like something is your North Star here. And it can easily just kind of be thrown away here based on you falling back sort of in self-sabotage, or you falling back in old ways that might trigger you in some way here. I'm going to pull one for the star here, Spirit. Can we get a clarifier here for the star? Why is the star in reverse here? Has pile 3 lost hope? Will they be losing hope here in their dream? So we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So this is this rage. Knight of Swords is the quickest moving knight, and he comes in, and sometimes he's full of rage. He's ready to fight. He's ready to confront. He's ready to have a word or two, and you know, it's like a bull in a china shop here. But in reverse, it's like knowing when to withdraw, knowing when to make a quick exit, knowing when to not feed into that. So I think what Spirit is saying here is like you can lose what your wish and your long-term sort of vision here of what you want for yourself if you remain in an energy here that is very aggressive, that might, you know, ruin things here for you out of your own self-doing. But if you're very present and patient, breathe through a situation, understand what you have learned, speak true to your heart here, then I think you're removing this sort of option from the table. You're removing, you know, a decision for you to act in a way that's aggressive, to act in a way that's confrontational or abrupt. Because I feel like you're really wanting to manifest something greater, something more joyful for yourself, some cohesion. Okay? This comes from an innocent, loving place. Doesn't come from deceptive energies. And this is how we find the balance, how we find the justice in a situation. It could be an existing situation here where you were needing to find balance because it's been imbalanced. We haven't been able to prioritize there with the Two of Pentacles in reverse or make a decision here. So we were really needing to reflect, sit in judgment, take a look at our own accountability, our own sort of actions, and be reborn here. Because I feel like you want to expand in that universe, okay, there with the star in reverse. Like there's expansion you can have here. It speaks to your soul. It speaks to your hearts. There could be stability and growth, health and abundance. But the only health and abundance will come through patience, will come through working through cycles here that we might have experienced in the past in one energy of Seven of Swords, which was self-sabotage or just not authentic to, you know, a part of our soul here. So we're needing to address inner child sort of wounding that might be causing us to reflect in some way, or react, I should say, in some way. Six of Swords, yeah, moving out of difficulty. Okay, that's a movement card, very slow, but it's coming out of difficulty, coming out of conflict, coming out of self-sabotage. Spirit, can we get some guidance here for beautiful pile 3? What is the guidance for pile 3? What are they needing to know right here, right now? Any questions they might still have in regards to this next 7 days? What is this all about? Clear and concise, please. Judgment in reverse. Yes, so we have to know the story we learned. We have to know everything that we reflected on here in a very honest way. If we fall back in Seven of Swords, where we start to lie about things that we already know and we've experienced, we could repeat cycles. Because when we sit at judgment, we can finally close the door to a certain chapter. We can heal childhood wounds. Look at test under that. I don't know if we saw that. So, yes, we're being tested here with an experience where it's taking us back. Are we judging ourselves? Are we judging others? Are we going to repeat? Or are we going to move out of sabotage energies and conflict in order to create cohesion and union? Three of Cups. This is reconciliation. This is coming together. This is celebration. This is a network of people coming together, celebrating and sharing love, opening the heart space here. In reverse, it's like if we fall back in old ways, we could be overdoing a sort of an energy that we're used to here, okay, that we've already experienced. Three of Cups in reverse. It's like lighthearted energies. Maybe we're incapable of expressing self in a more balanced way with the Two of Cups, because the Three of Cups is safe, you know, it's kind of like light energy. It's like page energy. It doesn't get deep. It's kind of very superficial on the surface. So I feel like there's a need to acknowledge in experience and move out of conflict. The Fool in reverse. So Fool is all about taking a leap of faith, taking the risk. And if it's in reverse, it's like we might be doing something very foolish. Okay, that's what I'm getting. It's something foolish. And that's reactionary. You know, when we rage out, when we do something foolish, it's because we've lost patience. We haven't been able to breathe through a situation. I have another Three of Pentacles now. So threes are all about growth. It is about relationships. It's initial success. I feel like there's a test here for you to have initial success in a situation. Okay, where you might have not have had success, where you might have not have had cohesion, and where you might have not been able to work with others to produce something further here. And maybe it always stopped short. And maybe we always got to the judgment and we couldn't get past this. We couldn't move forward. We couldn't move forward, so we were stuck. Okay, after judgment comes the World. That's concluding things, successful conclusion, learning from our mistakes, understanding, and then we can start a new chapter. But if we go from judgment back to a Fool, we're repeating the same sort of thing again, you know, because of a slip up, because we got angry, or because we maybe not even anger, or maybe just a reaction that we're not even self-aware of, that just kind of happens. And if it happens, it's okay, as long as we recognize, apologize, breathe through it, have patience through it. But we can't do the same foolish thing we always do, okay? Because I feel like there's, with this Three of Pentacles, something that you're supposed to be working on with someone here, or a group of people, or something that you're supposed to be working with in order to create. But we have to be balanced. We have to show up. This is a give and take in a way that we could create something in a balanced way, cooperating, collaborating, working together. Okay, now, I don't know, we see 2, 3, so there could be 2 people involved here. We could be involved with one other person and another situation here that tests our patience. Okay, because this third energy is getting in the way here with this third party energy. So we need to acknowledge how that's impacting our relationships. High Priestess. So High Priestess, Pisces energy. This is our subconscious. This is what our intuition is telling us. This is sometimes looking at parts of ourselves that we might not be seeing out in the open, but having to recognize in order for us not to be reactionary, to listen to our intuition, to listen to the part of us that sat in contemplation, that knows better, you know. So I feel like you're seeing this, you're understanding this, and you're being tested with an opportunity here to show up, to come together, to find peace, to find union. And I feel you do, but I feel like something might trigger you to go back to something. And whether you suffer the consequences here of whatever this is, how badly you do is up to you, because you could do the same foolish thing, or you could engage in the consequences here and keep moving forward in order to find the balance here, okay? But for all of you guys, it's different, because sometimes we take doing things many times before we learn lessons, you know. So I'm going to get just 3 cards here, sort of guidance, final words, any questions you might still have here that's unclear for pile 3, Spirit. Can we get 3 cards, final guidance, final words for pile 3 in the next 7 days? What are they needing to know? Thank you, Spirits, for this message. So we have 7 of Wands in reverse. Laying down our defenses, not being on guard. Okay, putting down the defenses, not being so defensive. 7 of Swords. This is, well, now we're getting 2 sevens. 7 is all about faith, wisdom, reflection, and understanding. Okay, we got to understand. Can we forgive ourselves? Can we forgive others? Are we passing judgment? 7 of Swords is that deceptive energy, self-sabotage energy. Again, flying under the radar, not being completely honest. Okay, and maybe we, you know, want to defend our position here, but Spirit is saying, lay down your guard. Do not be in a self-sabotage energy here. Okay, so 4 of Pentacles, let go. 4 of Pentacles is a held back energy. Sometimes we're too held back and we're not wanting to let go of something. And so we might think we have some sort of secure stability going on in our world, but it is at the expense of having to fight for it and fight for a cause. Meanwhile, what's meant for us, we don't have to fight for. It's just ours. So 4 of Pentacles in reverse, letting go, releasing, not being held back. Okay, being in tune with our intuition, letting go where we can, allowing things to flow, not being in this sort of self-sabotage energy. Being very honest with ourselves, okay? And not, again, doing this passing judgment. If we do something that we don't like, it's okay. As long as we accept ourselves and acknowledge and come out in the open, deal with the consequences here and move forward. We're not held back. We don't shy away. We don't repeat cycles, okay? That pulls us away. Because I feel this is going to take you towards your joy, your bliss, your happiness. This is expansion, growth. I feel this is the test of the universe to allow you to grow to your next phase, okay? And whether you pass this or not is kind of up to you. You could fall back into this sort of, defensive self-sabotage, or you can recognize where you're held back, holding yourself back or not allowing yourself to go towards your joy. Do what feels absolutely right to you, okay? Have patience with yourself and others as well. There's no need to rush, but there's also a need to be honest and a need to come out of old patterns. Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy. So our way of life, what we value, our beliefs, our ideology, this is also all about lessons, right? So like I said, I think this is testing the way you live your life, how you've been living your life, and if you want to make changes in your life, you're having to see things from a different perspective here. You're having to think outside the box. You're having to branch out of your typical way of being. You're having to let go of lifestyles and ideologies that might have you stuck in third-party type energies that doesn't allow you to bring union. If we have another energy in the mix, okay, but whether it be at work or wherever you're trying to cause cohesion, it has to be in cohesive energies. We can't have 2 sort of opposing energies with us in order to create. Okay, so the 3 of Pentacles is us showing up in order to create and work and be receptive and work with another. But if we come with another energy attached to us that we can't let go of, you know, whatever is in the past here, it keeps creating conflict. It keeps repeating things that we got to deal with the consequences here, when we got to be honest and detach and release any old ways of being that doesn't allow there to be growth, doesn't allow us to commit to a greater level of stability, something that speaks to our hearts, our intuition, our soul. Okay, so this is what I see here, pile number 3. I hope this helped. I love you guys very much. Please keep in mind that I am giving a free reading, private reading. All you have to do is be subscribed and comment on any one of my videos. It will be at random. And also I will be doing a 35% off all jewelry and all private readings off my website. All you have to do is enter in Sunshine35 at the checkout for your discount of 35% off. All that information is available in the description box and in the pinned comment below. For the full month of March, I will be doing that discount. So I hope to see you guys there, and I love you guys very much. I will see you soon. Bye.